Name is Gerhard Schwartner, and welcome to our live cast on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and on YouTube with Elay Cohen. He's the CEO of SaelsHood. That is the neighborhood that anybody who is in sales enablement needs to be there. Welcome, Elay.
I love it. You know what? There's so much to unpack with what you just said. Because first of all, is it still Twitter or do we call it X? That's my
X.
first
Yep.
X, right? It's X. But it's great to be here, and thanks for promoting, publicizing, and really being a champion for go-to-market teams, sales teams, CROs, sales enablers, all of us. Gerhard, we appreciate you very much. Great to be here.
Well, thank you. And today's theme is what do leaders need to know about AI? Because that is the biggest revolution that we have seen since the internet. So you talk about unpacking. How should sales leaders think about it?
Yeah, no, I love the question, and we have a conference coming up soon, the Sales 3.0 conference, and I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm going to be speaking yeah, exactly. I love it. It's right there. There's a QR code. I'll be speaking about how you can apply generative AI and best practices of AI to help organizations improve the efficiency and effectiveness. And so I'm excited to come and speak and share some ideas. We also just released, which we're really excited about, AI Coach. And so your question is such a great one. Like, as sales leaders, what do we need to know? And I think the biggest piece of advice that I want to give leaders right now is make sure you're solving a real revenue problem. And so what I mean by that is look across your pipeline data, look across all your data, front of the funnel, middle of the funnel, back of the funnel, look for inefficiencies, look for places where your deals are getting stuck or you need more coverage, whatever it is. Find the problem first, and then look to your vendors or look out into the market and look for an AI solution that's purpose built to solve that problem. Gerhard, what do you think?
Well, we did a webcast last week, and I love new solutions. So after we did a LinkedIn Live, I got the transcript, put it in ChatGPT, and I said, I need a 500-word blog post. And so I spent maybe 7 minutes editing this down to about 300 words, posted it on LinkedIn, and our live stream got 870 views. That blog post got 2,700.
Right.
I'm blown away by the speed of AI, but also by how people respond. And I think going back to your way of thinking about AI is you want to discover the opportunities. So I would say spend 80% of the time looking at your problems and,
Yep.
and then exploring what can be done more efficiently. And there's so many solutions out there. And spend maybe 20% of your time scanning the horizon because there are solutions for the top of the funnel. There is solutions for, like Brent Tillman has a solution, just ChatGPT for LinkedIn connections. So
Right.
it tells you what words to use based on the profile, which is
Be
amazing.
careful. Be careful, sales leaders, when you are seeing demos and you get excited about something.
Right.
Make sure it's real, right? Really, really real. And the only way to know it's real is to use it. And so
Right.
if you let's pick a problem, Gerhard. Let's look at let's look at a sales enablement problem, and let's just say a sales problem. Let's just say an organization needs more pipeline, right? There
Yeah.
are a number of ways to solve that problem, right? You
Yeah.
can train your people to be better at prospecting. You can train your people, coach your people so they can be better with the messaging, with the pitches,
Right.
voicemails, and elevator pitches. You can help reduce the amount of time it takes your people to do research so they can prospect faster and more efficiently, right? Those are three ways that there are AI solutions for all three that are
Yeah.
available that will almost with certainty at this point in time dramatically improve the efficiency of your organization and help you generate high quality pipelines super fast. right? Like it's just like that's
I'm thinking about it. What is interesting to me is that there are actually more solutions out there, technology solutions, than problems. And the real problem is finding the right solution.
oh my God, that's well, that's why you're here, right? Because you're trying to highlight
Right,
solutions to problems, so leaders around the planet can get those solutions faster. That's what the conference is all about,
right.
sharing our practices.
And the thing is, we have done those conferences for 14 years.
Yeah.
And there are three things that people need to do is they need to learn what is new. They need to relearn what they have done in the past, but they're no longer doing. And then they have to unlearn the things that no longer serve them.
I'm thinking about that right now. It's true. The unlearning is so interesting. I think we're renaming one of our features, and I just got a note from our senior vice president of product, and he said, probably one of the hardest things we're going to have to do is get people to say the new name, like our own
Yeah.
team, because they're
Right.
so used to doing things a certain
Yeah.
way, they're so used to saying things a certain way,
Right.
and you're right, right? Like, don't, like, wow. When you think of research, right, and you think of salespeople and how they can do research, I think of like, listen, when I was a kid, I had the library, and the internet wasn't there when I was
Right.
in elementary school, junior high, even high school wasn't there, right? I'm dating myself, right? And the library was the place you went to
Yeah.
get information, and you'd go through the stacks, and then the internet showed up, and you're like, oh my God, I could search for something, but then you're overwhelmed with options. And now
Yeah.
here we are with ChatGPT. And it
Right.
automatically stack ranks, prioritizes, looks across all the data, and gives you specific information. And so while we might really appreciate going to the library, I'm not knocking libraries, they're great. But if I want to quickly prospect, I gotta do it in a new way, because guess what? My competitors are doing it the new way, and I gotta learn how to use technology and specifically AI
Right.
to
Right.
solve my efficiency problem, right? And we've been focusing right now on front of the funnel with prospecting, but we could go anywhere in the funnel.
So how does AI, we talk about three things that we want to improve: people, process, and technology.
Okay.
So you're the go-to guru when it comes to improving people. But how do sales organizations look at the sales process, and how can AI improve the process?
Wow, that's a great question. So when I think of when the sales process has a series of stages, it's not always linear. So it could be circular. You can go back and forth, but there are activities that we want our teams to do when a buyer raises their hand and says, hey, I'm interested in having a conversation. Now, every buyer is going to there's a uniqueness into their needs and their challenges and their priorities. And so what AI can do is take the thousands and thousands and thousands of activities and all the information that lives on this side, and it can stack rank, prioritize, recommend, prescribe to the salesperson, like in a millisecond, exactly what they need to know, and give them a list of what they want, and then curate it for them, and then have the salesperson have that information curated, and they can just literally press a button. And I love it because we can do this in SaelsHood, where sales reps are able to prescribe content to their buyers. And so the efficiency of a salesperson finding content and then ultimately sharing it and having it be specifically tailored to the buyer's unique needs. Like, God, that would take so much time for a salesperson to source, find, and then who knows if it's right or wrong. And then you have no idea what the buyer actually thinks. That all happens in a millisecond. They get sent to them. They're logging in, they're accessing, they're engaging, and then the salesperson gets feedback. It's a whole new way to sell. Whole new way to sell and engage your customers and prospects.
And there's something else, which is I don't have a word for it, but we can make one up.
Okay, I
Um,
love it. Let's do it.
there's buyer blur, meaning that they don't pay attention. Like you as salespeople, learning the new lingo, new product, and they cannot retain it, and it takes a while before they learn that. But it's the same thing. You need to repeat your message to the buyer at least 4 or 5 times before you get past the buyer blur.
Hmm. Well, I'll take it a step further. Not only does it need to be repeated, but your champion, for them to truly be a champion, they need to be on message as well. They
Yeah,
need to be able to articulate the differentiators, the impacts, how the solution is going to solve their issues and the impact it's going to have on their business. Because ultimately, today, in today's world, the champion just represents the person who's at the front of the group, but there's a whole buying committee, as you
yeah,
know, decision committees today in B2B software is anywhere from 10 to 20 people. They're not going to meet the salesperson.
right.
There's no sales. So somehow AI, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, there is a book, a very old book by Elmer Wheeler. He wrote a book called Words That Sell. And he said there are meaty words and there are watery words. So
Okay.
when a salesperson does a presentation, you don't want to come in with, here are the 5 reasons why you should invest in that. And then they bring 5 watery bullet points to the client that just fade away, that dry up, that don't stick.
Yeah.
So it's so much better to apply the rule of 3 and give people 3 things that they can remember, like people, process, technology, the right mindset, the right skill set, the right tool set, or
Yes.
knowledge, skills, and motivation. Build a
or
little.
or SaelsHood is purpose built. Why? Because we impact readiness, effectiveness, and execution. 3 things.
Exactly.
Everything
Yeah,
with 3.
yeah,
People
yeah.
remember 3s. Sorry, I
Right.
had to do that plug. Appreciate it.
No, it's a perfect example that we need to relearn how to speak in bullet points, but don't shoot more than 3 bullets because and the overkill makes people not remember.
It's too much information, right?
TNI.
And it's too much info. You're right. Because like I really like thinking about the buying journey, and I like thinking about ways that we can help organizations improve the efficiency of their teams, right? And so back to your original question, what do we recommend? What advice do we have for sales leaders as they think about AI? And this is another piece of advice, right? Kind of use AI to really get crystal clear on the core value prop messages that are pertinent to that buyer. And by the way, you could use a prompt and say, give them 3, right? You
Yeah,
can leverage that best practice. But just think of how many hours it would take to do that. You'd have to sit with marketing, you'd have content reviews, and then you'd be debating, negotiating, it's just take all the great marketing collateral and then use AI to provide recommendations in real time to your sellers in the context of the buyer needs, and give them 3 key selling points. Boom.
yeah, and salespeople need to remember 3 things that I just wrote it down: clarity, value, and action. You want to be clear with your unique selling proposition.
Okay.
You want to be clear and concise and specific about the value, how it is customized to the buyer situation. And you need to have a call to action. In every email, I see so many people forgetting the call to action. They need to remind the buyer what is the next step. So every conversation, every email needs to be like a chain. One link leads to the next, to the next.
No, I agree. I love that. And so one of the things that we're working on right now is an AI sales assistant. And listen, I know there's so many solutions out there, but I'm going to tell you one that we're really excited about is, a meeting happens, and you're doing a Zoom meeting or WebEx or GoToMeeting or Google Hangouts or whatever tech you're using, doesn't matter. And but at the end of the meeting, we want to be able to in real time provide our salespeople with, yes, the transcript, but go a step further. Here's a meeting recap. here are the issues, the impacts, and here are the next steps written out for them, right? And that way, there's no excuse for not getting a very concise, professional, and consistent follow-up happening across the board with your teams, like within 15, 20 minutes, versus usually takes reps a few days because they're thinking about the email, their manager reads it. It's like, whoa, when you have a call, you got to get that meeting out quickly. And so that's a way to use AI to improve the efficiency of your sales process. Get the meeting follow-ups done super fast and super professional, but tied back to your process and tied back to your methodology and following Gerhardt's 3 best practices: clarity, value, and next steps. See, I remember them. 3s.
That's awesome. So I'm very excited about you hosting the COO of the Year Award in Las Vegas on September 7th. And so give me 3 reasons why COOs should fill out that application and compete for the COO of the Year Award in 2023.
Yeah, no, I was there last year, and I watched the awards, and I watched the amazing leaders stand up and be recognized, and it was amazing to see the quality of leaders that you were recognizing, and amazing, and the CRO collective, which is a big proponent as well and a partner. I really am excited, and thank you for asking me to kind of provide the awards. I'm excited to host that, but I'm really excited to recognize real CROs. And I'm not trying to diminish. I think folks get titles and everything, but if you are a chief revenue officer and you run sales, success, and marketing, you really truly run all revenue, then we want to recognize you, because what we want to do is really highlight what a true chief revenue officer should and should be in the industry versus someone that just runs sales. And let's not confuse. So I think we want to recognize amazing star talent, and we want to recognize it. Why? Because we want to demonstrate to the rest of the world what real CROs should look like. So that way we can, I think it's important to, what's the word I'm thinking for? We want to, validate, verify for the industry. This is what great looks like. And I'm excited to be a part of this initiative. Thank you.
So you mentioned customer success, and it reminds me that you worked for SaelsHood.com. And I don't know if it's true, but you can confirm it or disconfirm it. But I think it was Mark Benioff who started with customer success, because he was the beginning of the subscription economy, where before Salesforce, software was sold on premise, and you had to pay every year in advance. And Mark changed the whole paradigm and came up with customer success managers. Can you tell me a little bit about how that idea germinated within Salesforce?
Yeah. There's no question that the subscription economy, measuring subscribers and looking for ways to measure recurring impact and recurring value, is all kind of at the center of it. But it wasn't always that way. It was, we were in Half Moon Bay, and this is probably, 2007, 2008. We had started at Salesforce. We started really closing some big deals. But these big deals had contract term dates. And one of our leaders, David Dempsey, stood up and like we kind of talked about it, like kind of tongue in cheek, that it was a doom and gloom moment. But he basically just showed a chart that said, if we don't dramatically change the way we're engaging with our customers at this future time, we have the risk of losing this percentage of our revenue. And the whole room was like, whoa. And that's the moment the customer success movement was created. And I remember when that moment, because we talked about it for the next 2-3 days at the Half Moon Bay event and at the Ritz-Carlton. And it was, and that was the center of it. And then the team was founded and the role was created and processes were looked at. And we started looking at leading indicators and everybody, he mobilized the whole company around customer success. and the word success became a center value, and trust became, and customer success started showing up at the top of our V2 mom, like our core business plan, the vision, values. And so I still remember that. And it's, anyone can Google, that David Dempsey, the founding of the CSM movement, and it's all verified. But I remember that moment. It was, we were afraid, Gerhard, of the potential loss of the recurring revenue. And we knew we needed to change the engagement model with our customers.
Fear can be a very powerful motivator.
Yes, it can. But customer success has two sides.
Yeah.
There's an option, and then there is the renewal aspect. And a lot of times organizations kind of get it confused, and me included, right? I think I've sometimes had CSMs who do both, and just be careful, folks. And I know we're going a little off topic, but we're not, right? Because only a true chief revenue officer who has the mandate of sales, aka revenue, and marketing, which basically is from the funnel, pipe generation, pipe creation, pipe progression, and then has the success team. They can do the proper organizational structure to eliminate the friction of who owns what, because they'll create the teams. They all report up to that person, and he or she, and that's why it's important to really have clarity when you hire and you give someone the title of CRO, that they really do need to be empowered with everything. So that's why we're asking for nominations of true CROs out there, because we want to recognize you, learn from you, and celebrate your story in the industry.
I want people to join us in Las Vegas and see Elay Cohen hand out the CEO of the Year awards, but also he is a keynote that you don't want to miss. He has so much experience. And there are 3 reasons why you need to come to Vegas. One, to meet all the wonderful people that you're going to network, that are going to impact your net worth in the future. Number 2, you're going to get a selfie with Elay Cohen.
I promise.
And number 3, he is going to autograph his book for you in person, but only for CEOs, because he's going to bring a limited quantity, and it's going to put smiles on your face, and you're going to learn a ton. So scan that QR code, sign up to SaelsHood, and if you want to get a discounted ticket, just email me, gg@sellingpower.com, and I get you a 50% off ticket. Thank you so much, Elay. That was tremendous.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for shining a light on what we're focused on here at SaelsHood, and looking forward to seeing everyone in Las Vegas. And Gerhard, thank you very much.